fuck is Craig? Shut up, Craig.
Damn, Craig, you're already getting bullied in here.
We don't like Craig.
I wish we could change his name. Maybe I could change his name. I don't know. Not really sure. Anyways, welcome to another wonderful episode of the Believe Me Don't podcast, where Craig gets bullied on a regular basis. Yes. So today we're going to talk about the biggest flops of gaming. I have a list and of a few, so obviously we can bring up ones that I didn't bring up, but there's basically the few lists that I just randomly Googled. There was a common top three. So we can talk about those, but also ones that we know of.
Personal ones,
basically. Yeah. And then kind of like why we think they flopped, what we consider a flop. Yeah, but we'll try to go as quickly as possible. But yeah, we got everyone here but Rack. He's off doing school stuff. Jordan just got done. Yeah, Jordan just got done doing apparently a hard boss. How's that going?
Death, destruction, depression.
Well, that's good.
Help.
Hopefully you defeat the depression. Kiwi, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
That's good. And then we also have Donkey come to learn that his guild is barely ahead of Machnathal guilds. So
yeah, that's depressing.
Yeah, Magnathal not that good. If you wanted to know.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll move on to. Well. You are still ahead, so that's all that matters. So yeah, games that flop. I guess we can start out by talking about what we think a flop is. Anyone want to just throw some insight on what they would think their, definition of a game flopping is? Not. I wouldn't even go on the financial side because that's hard to judge from however long, 40 years that, because each year goes up, inflation and shit like that. So, yeah.
I'll go. Basically, when a game gets hyped so much, it has so many expectations. It looks great. It seems great. The trailers are great. People are talking about it like crazy. And then it just, you play it and it's just like, what is this? This isn't what was advertised. This isn't what we were, I'll say, promised, but not really. And yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much my take on it as well. Fully agree with Kiwi.
Yeah. I guess so. We all have franchises that we really, kind of stick with, but when there's new franchises that come into play, how do you go about judging how you think it's going to be good with the hype level that the marketing's building and stuff, like watching trailers? How do you really judge what you foresee this game actually bringing to the table, and if you would have fun towards it with it?
I don't. I find something that looks neat and then I try it. Other than that, I don't know.
You try not to let the hype affect your.
I try not to, but sometimes it's too hard. Outriders, I was hyped for, and
yeah, well,
don't bring up that one, dude.
Or Anthem.
I don't.
Still think Anthem's better than Outriders.
In the list. It basically just comes down to if I think I'll enjoy it from what I've seen or what I read, then I'll try it. I probably wouldn't do that anymore because you get burned too many damn times.
I like watching games more on Twitch or YouTube.
So you don't like watching the actual trailers and stuff beforehand?
I watch some of the trailers, but not always. God of War, I tried not watching it because I want to play it eventually, but I didn't watch you stream it at all, so I know nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's good though. I understand, because it's just like the same thing goes for movies. They're obviously trying to show you the best parts and the highlights, and obviously we know from movies, some of the trailer is literally the best parts of the movie, and the rest of it can't be good.
Yep.
I think that can be just a little bit different for video games because we're in control of them, of what we do in them. You know, they can present us with there's certain quests and the environment and stuff like that, and it's up to us to really dive into that. And, you know, so it's a little bit different, but at the same time, you know, they're going to show you what they think is the best aspects of the game coming out. So I have a list that we can just kind of go over, but I'll just get the top 3 that I really found common on everyone I've
Bet I can
every
guess
article.
one of them.
Well, okay, just try to guess one. You're not, I don't think you're going to get either one or any of the 3.
But I can get 2 of them.
I can guess one of them.
And this is gaming, I like as a history fully all the way back. So
Yeah, I know.
Go for it.
Duke Nukem Forever.
Well, that's definitely one.
See,
not number 1, but like 2 or 3.
I told you it was one of the 3.
And it's sad. I love. Did y'all play like the original Duke Nukems?
Yep, I sure did.
I love Duke Nukem.
And they were so awesome. And then Duke Nukem Forever came out, and then sucked asshole.
I think it's because of the times, though. People were they didn't want his like humor and I guess PC politically correct type deal.
No, it wasn't
translate.
that. No, it wasn't really any of that. It's the fact that the game was like tossed around by like 17 different developers before it was finally like rushed out by fucking Gearbox. That was the problem. Gearbox was the issue. They rushed that fucking game out because Randy, dumbass, fucking sweaty magician, fucking coked out Pitchford needed to get that fucking game out because he overhyped it too much. And people were like, oh my god, I'm bringing back Duke Nukem. Everybody sucked my fucking dick, dude. And it was bad. He rushed that game out, and it was terrible.
Should
play
you a shirt of Randy Pitchford's face.
Like,
God, dude. Anyway,
well, so far we had back-to-back episodes of Jordan ranting. We've had Last of Us with direct Neil, and then now with Gearbox. But I know
why'd you have to bring it up?
I'll talk about it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Y'all probably haven't watched The Last of Us. Obviously, you're not gonna watch The Last of Us. Today's episode, I haven't fully finished it. Got a little bit left of it. It's a great episode. They definitely kind of go away from the game, but yeah, I think some people are gonna be upset. But anyways, yeah. So Duke Nukem Forever, definitely. I think I tried it and was like 5 minutes in, like, no, done. This is terrible.
It's fucking terrible.
Okay, try to guess the other 2.
Well, I guessed one. Let's let these 2 clowns try to guess another one.
I was thinking, what is it? Oh, hold on, I'm dying.
I only know recent games.
Cyberpunk.
That was on the list that I have, but that's not the 2 common ones.
Not in the top 3.
I know the only worst game that just I think did terribly. Was it Final Fantasy 11 that did awful?
14 did. The beginning one.
Did worse than 11?
The beginning of 4. No, 11 was actually good. It was just grindy as shit, but people didn't mind that back then because
grindy. Yeah,
because people just had no life back then.
Yeah,
but the beginning of 14 was horrendous. Absolutely horrific.
Oh well.
I'll give you a hint. It's no. It's not an MMO. Neither one of them are MMOs. One of them is like super old. I'm talking like 40 years ago. And the other one was on the 64.
I know what it is.
This is the game that was like buried in Area 51, Nevada.
Yes.
Because there's, I forget what that one is.
It's E.T.
E.T. is the worst one apparently of all time on every article that I found.
Yeah, I mean, and the story is crazy. Like the fact that like they buried the game because it was so bad or shit like that. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well,
it was true. It was true. There was a landfill of the games. They found it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they didn't sell enough, and obviously they were trying to ride the hype of the actual movie and shit like that. And it was apparently a huge commercial failure.
How the hell is like an ET game?
It's awful.
Literally all you do in the game is just like walk around and fall down holes.
That honestly sounds like it would make the biggest comeback right now.
and because it's a fucking stupid Atari game. Okay, I don't want to say stupid Atari game because it's an Atari game. You have to like use your imagination, right? Because that was just part of the deal, fucking 30, 40 years ago. But even if you could use your imagination, there is no like reasonable thing you could come up with because everything just looks like a fucking mess. And E.T. has a dick in his mouth.
What?
He has a tiny wiener.
Well, to be fair, E.T.'s head looks like a penis too. Or like his neck and stuff.
Can we stop shaming ET here? Damn.
I'll send you a screenshot of what his model looked like here.
I don't want to see that.
I'm not shaming.
Obviously, we can't show our fans. But
yeah, we can't show this.
But that's what he looks like in the game, dude.
Just his hand.
It looks like bad. It looks like
a penis.
It looks like an even worse version of Reptar from Rugrats, dude. Like this is the Dollar Tree Reptar.
It's actually got like two penis. One is his hand. One's that thing in the middle.
Yeah. True.
Where's his But yeah, E.T. is apparently the biggest flop of all time. And then the second one, most common one that I found is Superman 64.
Oh yeah, I could.
Oh god. I had that game blocked out of my fucking memory. Now it's back. This is always how it happens.
Apparently it was horrible.
I've always had this game blocked out, and then I hear it, and then it's like Brain Blast from Jimmy Neutron, but in the worst way. This is like
Jimmy's mom.
Like, oh god, I'm so upset. Stupid, fucking dumb game. I played that. I can go over the history with that one when we start talking about it.
Apparently, according to the Guinness World Record, it has the Guinness World Record for the lowest rated superhero game with a 22% on game rankings.
It's better than some movies. Shit, that's a fucking pass.
Some movies. Is that true? Like none of like the crappy like Iron Man games?
Well, this one was this article says 2017 it received it, so obviously they made some pretty bad games in the past 6 years now. So it's just counting superhero games.
There has to have been some terribles. I thought like one of the Iron Man games was like absolutely horrendous. But I guess nothing's as bad as that. So.
Yeah. So some on the list that I have that I just went down was kind of going through my memory. So we'll start at the top with, and y'all have already mentioned it, two of them, literally. Anthem.
Oof.
It was such a fun game.
It was so the combat was okay, but the flying was top notch, and it could, if they would expanded the world, it could have been awesome to explore. Obviously, there wasn't enough content, and it was completely rushed and shit like that. Could have been an epic game. And then Outriders as well. I would say it was a little bit better than Anthem just because it had a little bit more content. But I would prefer the flying and shit of Anthem.
I mean, we at least got 100 hours out of Outriders. So
yeah,
we got 100 hours out of Anthem.
We got a lot of
you guys played Anthem. I didn't play Anthem.
Y'all played the same thing over and over.
I played the hell out of it. I loved it.
Both those games are good. If whoever made the flying in Anthem, I hope they got a job somewhere else and put that same flying in the damn game or in whatever.
It was so smooth.
It was so bad on the beta though when they showed us because they gave us an old model. I was like, this is not it, guys.
But like, yeah, Anthem's world, boring. Story characters, boring. Anyone that tries to make the main character try and have a personality in a multiplayer type game, usually they fail so miserably because they don't understand it.
There was no story in the game.
Well, that too. gearing sucked, like too many systems in it, and this goes for both Outriders and Anthem, is when you have too many features in your game and they don't mesh with each other, you're gonna have a shitty time.
Yeah. Also, the hub for both of those games were non-existent, I guess.
They were terrible.
Yeah, it was really bad. Both of them, I think Anthem had more potential, but obviously EA wasn't going to back it because of how bad it failed. Another one y'all mentioned, or at least Donkey, Cyberpunk 2077.
The most overpromised game I have ever experienced.
Yeah, it definitely, yeah.
I still think that goes to No Man's Sky personally, but
Cyberpunk has made a complete turnaround, and it brought a lot of people back, and that might had something to do with Edge Runners as well, the TV show.
No,
but they also made the game better. So hopefully the DLC or expansion or whatever that they're coming out with won't.
I can't believe they got Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves to come back. Like, yeah,
Keanu
that's crazy.
Do anything, but Idris, that's a good person to dive into.
They're just paying him big bucks. Let's be honest.
True.
I don't know. Keanu was really invested into it.
Well,
so I think he wanted it to be good.
I think Keanu just has fun with things. He doesn't really care how successful or if he's having fun, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Keanu is an awesome person.
I like Keanu. So,
another one, Fallout 76. I mean, I know me and Kiwi kind of have it firsthand. We literally played their beta, essentially, that led straight into the game. I think that's one of the dumbest things ever to do. You should never allow your progress in a beta to carry over to the exact game, especially a multiplayer game, I feel like. But they were using us as test dummies. So
yeah, I mean, Fallout 76, like, as much as I enjoy the Fallout world, that thing was a dumpster fire.
That's one of the worst, like, buggy games I've ever like, and that's bad to say because I played Fallout 4 for, I think I put 1,000 hours into Fallout 4, and
that's crazy.
And like Fallout 4 had tremendous amount of bugs, but I enjoyed every minute of it. But I could not do it with 70. It's all could have helped we played with somebody that we aren't particularly fond of. But the game overall was terrible. And you know who I'm talking about, QB.
Yeah, I know.
But once again, 76 has made a comeback, and there's, for whatever reason, a lot of loyal fans that are still playing it to this day. And I know they have like actual servers you can purchase and do the sandbox thing, which Fallout is completely set up for to do that. So I kind of want to go back to Fallout, and dive back into it, but I just have to have time. I put this one on here, and we probably don't have time to go through it all, but WoW expansions.
It's way too many that were bad.
Skip.
Yeah, we're just gonna skip. But we know there's been
BFA onwards. That's really all. Like BFA Shadowlands, fucking horrendous. All right,
yeah,
that's it.
But okay, so now we're talking about superhero games. Marvel Avengers came out 2 years ago, I think. 2-3 years, maybe.
And it's dead.
Yeah, they're literally shutting off the servers in the middle of this summer. So clearly Square Enix needs to quit. Why
does Square Enix have the rights to superhero stuff? Why?
Well, they kind of like I think it was Crystal Dynamics technically, which they sold off last year. But like Square was the one, I guess publishing it or whatever. But yeah, I tried it. It wasn't good. And I mean, I even tried to look past them not being the exact Marvel Cinematic Universe characters. Even that, like, I could kind of get past, but it was just so boring. But yeah, they're literally shutting off the servers, I'm pretty sure, in this year.
Nice.
Another Square Enix one that I tried to get with Jordan to play, and I'm glad we didn't try it. Babylon's Fall.
Yeah, that That one might have been worse than other games, other than the hyping thing. If people just didn't hype it, they didn't care about it.
Oh, the marketing on that one, they didn't care about at all. But it's one of the worst. Like, I know Donkey talks about how he doesn't like certain designs of like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. You don't like those art styles. Babylon's Fall, I could not personally because it's like it's watercolor, like how you do or I used to do in freaking middle school in art class. It was terrible. This game is terrible looking.
Well, it's like those games work as like a cartoony type thing, or like a storytelling or something different, not a combat action game.
Yeah, and then your character, it looks like it's a random generated character that I'm supposed to have some type of feel to it. It was awful. Square, I guess guys, just stick to Final Fantasy. I don't know what to tell you. But and then we also talked about Final Fantasy 14. It was hard. I guess Jordan, you could probably talk about it just a little bit more. At launch, it was just. Did you play at launch, or was you still playing WoW at that point?
What, Final Fantasy 14 at launch?
Yeah.
No, I did not play at launch. I did not start playing 14 until it was like an expansion into its like once A Realm Reborn happened and then Heaven's Ward came out. That's when I started playing. So it was well past its like rebirthing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that takes a lot for them to literally say our MMO has failed, but we're going to actually rebuild it into what you guys are telling us to do.
Well, not only that, they took the base game, Final Fantasy 14, fixed it. Like Yoshi P came in because he's the one who saved it. Basically, they brought him in. Because they pulled him off of he was working on a Dragon Quest game, I think, and they pulled him off of it. It was like, here, fix this. And Yoshi P came up to them and was like, here, look, you got two options. We can either keep working on 14 and try to fix it, but the Final Fantasy name will be tarnished forever because it was at that point. Or we can fix this game, and at the same time, you give me money and I can like start rebuilding it from the ground up and make a better MMO to save the Final Fantasy namesake. And they went with that one. And they did that. They fixed the base game, like unfucked it. Like, dude, you couldn't even jump in the original game. That's how fucking stupid. You literally couldn't jump. Like it had dumb shit where if you played for too long, you got an XP debuff, because it wanted to limit your playtime. Like just a bunch of fucking dumb shit. Like Yoshi P even called the original game trash. Like he's like he played it when it first came out. He's like, dude, this is crap. Like such garbage. And then for inspiration and trying to figure out how to make a good game, they looked at WoW. Because WoW at that point, if I recall correctly, was in MOP. And that was the best time for World of Warcraft. So they took a lot of the good things from WoW and then ran with it, and here we are today. They unflopped the flop. Very rare occurrence, especially for an MMO. I don't know if that could ever happen again. So
hell, if you make a game and you try and control your players' time when they want to play your game, you're already messed up.
Yeah. Especially in an MMO. Like, holy shit.
Like, you let them be degenerates and do whatever they want with their time. It's not your problem. It's not your fault if something bad happens to them. Should the person be smarter? I mean, yeah, but you can't do anything about that. That's their own problem.
Yeah, there's obviously systems that we play with WoW that can limit things, but yeah, limiting the amount you can play, that was pretty nuts. But obviously we know the success Final Fantasy 14 has had in the past few years, and hopefully they continue to have, and just in general, because clearly they can't make any other game type. there's been so many Square Enix. Like there's a meme of that they just keep dumping IPs into it that's just burning. So the next one is going to be controversial. So because it's had a lot of success, I think, but yeah. So Diablo 3.
Oh no!
Would you consider it a flop?
Fucking
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a flop.
You know, when it came out, it was ass, and then they kind of brought it back, made it into something good. Reaper of Souls came out, that was Pog, and then it stayed good for a little while, and then it flopped. So it flopped, then they unflopped it, and then they reflopped it. I don't even know how the fuck you do that. That's honestly impressive.
Stop doing content with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it reflopped, but I'd say
it just tanked.
Well, it just basically kept its course forever and didn't try and change. Like that's how it is now. It's just on maintenance mode because
it's season after season after season with like no real gameplay changes. Like just, ugh. God, I hope Diablo 4 isn't bad. I've been wanting a new fucking like Diablo style game for so long. Please don't be bad.
It was fun, but
I just want a game that I can like really throw my fucking life into again, and that would just be nice if that game is good.
Yeah, I can't really say anything.
No
one's gonna hear this. I don't care.
No. Don't risk it, Kiwi. Seriously, don't.
What, are they gonna come hunt me down?
Stop.
Bring it on!
I would not risk it if I were you.
Yeah, don't risk it for the biscuit. But my question to you guys is, because I know how much y'all played it, why do you consider it a flop if y'all played the shit out of it?
It's just because, I only it got to the point where I was just doing the seasons just to help out Donkey.
Well, I know you AI. It's mainly towards Donkey and Kiwi.
Why we keep playing it?
Yes.
I mean, there was the low-key copium hope that was like, oh, maybe Blizzard will like give us Diablo 4 for free because we've done this so much.
Okay,
Thank you.
That
was
my copium. I was just thinking, well, maybe the cosmetics move on to the next one, but I doubt that.
Yeah, honestly, to me, it looks like Diablo has turned into WoD, where you just get to log in, do one thing, and then you get to log off. But I guess for y'all, it was doing the seasons, finishing in a day or two, and then just logging off until the next one come out.
Yep.
So that's good and bad, but as big as a franchise as Diablo is, I think that's not good.
It's an awful cycle.
It was very bad.
Yeah,
so
I think the game's a big dumpster if it's like that.
Yeah.
It was nowhere near Diablo 2. And I remember the game director of the original Diablo 3 called the game director of Diablo 2 trash and said his game's better. I'm just like, my guy, his game has lasted decades. Okay. So
Diablo 2 needs to go die by now, because if people still like that, I mean, more power to them. You like your tastes, but it's in the past. But at the same time,
still a really good game.
D3 was so bad because you had just I don't think I got past, like, I think I made it to Act 3, or I don't think I got past Act 1 because you just couldn't grind. The bugs murdered you in Act 2, Act 3. You just got everything. Like,
I do miss that Inferno though. I wish that they would have like an artifact like league where you get to experience that again with the current gear that we have now.
It would be cool to have like kind of just like a completely separate, like, you know, not like a one-off thing, like, because I think having like a super high difficulty that's not accessible by too many people is important in a game that can cover so many bases of gaming crowds, you know, because it can give people something to strive for. You know what I mean? That's why I like Ultimates in Final Fantasy.
No, I'm okay with that, but the problem is nowadays is, well, like, it works for Final Fantasy because the community got built up to that. Well, if they threw those into WoW and they didn't ever nerf them, half those people would never, no, probably 80% of those people would never see that content. Like, how many people actually kill Ultimates in Final Fantasy? I
think the most recent one. Well, not the one that literally just came out this week. The one before it. Oh man, I don't know. Probably like 8, maybe like 10,000 clears, something like that.
So you compare to how many players are playing that game, that's like squat.
Not a lot.
But I mean, it's the prestigious thing. That's what I like in MMOs is when you have that level of prestige where you feel good killing that, and that's what gear used to be. But gear's not like that anymore. You just, here's this free piece of gear for doing jack. But anyways, Diablo flopped, or at least Diablo 3 flopped because it was mostly you had to buy your gear with real money. And that was what it came down to.
Or play a demon hunter or a wizard.
There was no balancing. There was no nothing. It was you play the best, the meta, and you threw your wallet at the game, which doesn't work. Which just doesn't work. Like I sold some boots for $250. Chances are it's probably someone in, as much as I don't want to say this, China that probably bought them.
No, different auction houses.
I don't think so. But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Understandable though. Moral story though, my friends quit on me in Diablo 3. That's why I flopped. Anyways, No Man's Sky.
Never played it.
I know Jordan mentioned definitely one of the biggest promises. Obviously, an unlimited amount of planets that you could go to. Clearly lied. The person beat it within a day. Didn't they buy money or they use real money to just get to the center of the universe or something like that?
It was just. I think the game. I think the game's campaign was like actually 20 hours long or something, which was pretty standard.
Or most of the planets the same too.
Yeah, they were supposed to be actually generated of new stuff, and they weren't.
And then there was supposed to be multiplayer in it right off the bat, and it's just like, all right, me and my friend joined this game. Where are they?
And they were literally on the exact same point, like identical things, and they were not seeing each other.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But also, I mean, it's still around today, so I think it technically has made a comeback.
It's much better now. It's actually a very good game now, from what I hear.
I would actually like to play that game in VR. I think that would be nuts. One I have on there because I saw it randomly on like one list was RE6, Resident Evil 6. I know from a Resident Evil standpoint, I think 6 was definitely, we've definitely talked about it, but was this real downfall of the franchise. So
just
it was a different direction.
The first couple of hours of Leon's campaign. I mean, Leon's campaign as a whole is good, but the first couple hours of Leon's campaign was like gold, so good. And then it just after that, and I don't even want to talk about the other two campaigns. Jesus fucking Christ!
Well, that's because Leon almost carries the franchise at this point.
But yeah, just Resident Evil 6 is not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
Did y'all here? I had this on my list, but did y'all ever play Shaq Fu?
No.
Yeah, Shaq had a game.
I know the name and I know some of the history behind it, but I've never played it.
Yeah, it was horrible.
You're telling me you wouldn't want to, be Shaq and go just pick stuff up?
No. Shaq during the 90s was because he just got to LA or started playing for the Lakers and stuff. He wanted to do everything Hollywood. So obviously he tried to become a rapper. He wanted to be in movies.
His movie was good.
Stop.
Shazam? Well, not Shazam. What was it?
I thought it was. Well, it wasn't Shazam, but I thought it was Shazam.
He was a genie.
Yeah, it was horrible.
That was a good movie.
It was terrible. Okay. Anyways, yeah, Shaq Fu, not good. The game. And then one of the last ones I have, and I don't know if it can be considered a flop yet from a financial standpoint. Kazam.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Forspoken, another Square Enix title.
Is that really that bad? Like, what's wrong with it?
Like y'all said in the when I was playing the demo, the characters, you don't really care about them, and obviously the banter that goes back force between her and the cuff is just not it. The combat seems interesting, but apparently it's not very in depth. It looks amazing, like from like a visual standpoint, but also the world, I guess, is barren. So basically, the parkour aspect carries it.
Yeah. From what I watched of people playing, like the combat, you're literally like a spell slinger. So like you're just dumping off spells. Like there's the parkour sort of makes it look nice or neat, but at the same time, yeah, there's nothing in the world. It's just like some beast you go slap down, and then it's like, oh, you got stuff. Oh, well, let's go to the next area.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is the start of like Sony pushing only on like pushing games to only be on PS5, and I think this one was the first one, and it probably fell short in their eyes. So
that was a mistake.
Yeah, I think I'll eventually play it when it goes on sales because I went the other day. I had 2 pre-orders. I had that, and then I had Hogwarts, and I'm like, you know what? I just don't know. And luckily, they allowed me to change my pre-order money from Forspoken to Hogwarts, and the GameStop employee was like, "Yeah, I would too." I was like, "You know what? I mean, fair enough."
Get out of that dumpster fire while you can.
Yeah. I'll try it eventually if it goes on sale. I want to have time to play something.
Like, I'd rather play a game where I gotta write out runes to make my spell stronger versus just dump some weak spells or some flashy looking things at something. I don't know.
Yeah. I think if more aspects, like, say, the character, you cared for her more, or if they got the banter between her and the cuff, like Mimir and Kratos, it would have maybe made it a little bit better. But also, people were review bombing the shit out of it for whatever reason. So that doesn't help its case.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a problem nowadays with just any gaming news site that puts out the review, and you're not supposed to be biased on most stuff, like how news is supposed to be. And 95% of these people are all biased, so they either love the crap out of it or they hate its guts.
Yeah. I think it's also funny how they literally were paying. I'm pretty sure Lyric was playing Forspoken, and as soon as he beat it, he just immediately turned it off. Because clearly he was getting paid to play it the first few days by Square. So it sucks. That's all the list that I have. Y'all, anything else come to y'all's mind? Just from a flop standpoint, like commercially or just in y'all's eyes?
Anthem Outriders.
Dead Space 3.
Dead Space 3. Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping the franchise can make a comeback.
Just hope they throw that thing in the trash and keep whatever they did with the remake going strong.
That's what I'm hoping for. The remix is awesome.
Yeah. Anything else?
Shadowlands.
Okay, well,
No,
well, clearly, we that's why I just put WoW expansions. I didn't want to list certain ones. But yeah, that was just our kind of take on some of the biggest game flops that we know of, and just going through history, and our definition of them and what we thought about them. I know this is a little bit shorter episode, but we were just time constraint, and we obviously missed Rack. But hopefully we'll be back next week. I think I have a good idea for an episode, maybe a blue and red pill. We'll talk about Zelda, you know, that girl and the sword and stuff. If you want to take her,
I'm gonna be under your fucking bed.
But anyways, thank you for joining us. Remember, we got some cool socials. We got that Twitter. It's at Spatchy123. That guy's an asshole. YouTube, Believe You Don't Podcast. Spotify, Believe You Don't Podcast, Anchor/FM, Believe You Don't Podcast. Share with your friends. Write us some comments on our YouTube videos and things. Maybe
tell us how much we suck ass.
Yeah, you could. We won't take offense to it.
I'll take offense.
Who has the best voice out of us?
Yeah,
I'll personally tell you to go fuck yourself.
Okay, well,
right,
maybe
well,
if you're
you could
Neil
bully that guy.
Druckmann, maybe. What if he commented on one of our videos and said, "I don't like that Warhigh guy. He's talking about my franchise."
Wait, who?
Neil Druckmann, right? The Naughty
I'll
Dog.
slap the shit out of Neil Druckmann. Are you kidding me? Stupid ass motherfucker.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be it for us. And remember, you can continue to believe us.
If you don't.
If you don't.
Doki, you gotta be the last person. Go.
No, we're good.
And you
Believe me.
don't.
Fat idiot.
Okay. Goodbye.